All right, so this is my final presentation for TE 206. Here are my lessons. I got a book on polynomials and a presentation over volume and area. So we're going to click on the book and just walk through this here. Polynomials. Started off by introducing some popular polynomials people could recognize. Talked about coefficients and variables, and then moved on next to addition. It's pretty important. Talking about grouping like terms together. I like this picture because of the same colored like exponents and stuff. So like the x squared and the x squared are next to each other, and the 4x, 5x, the 1 and the 2. Got an extra video on there for students that just want extra practice or are confused. I kind of like this book because it makes it so you can work at your own pace. It's kind of nice. So then we talk about subtraction next, and talking about how it's really important to distribute the negative sign. This is the way I like to do it, but then there's an opposite way for students that may like it a different like strategy pretty much. I know everyone doesn't learn the same way, so I just provided this right here. And then next I did a problem where you had to simplify a bunch of expressions and equations to make like a word jumble. Kind of a fun little game to have students do. I think this would be a really good lesson to do like while I'm in class and just have them work through this, and when they're done for the day and they can work on homework and stuff, and I think it'd be supplemental. So then we're going to move into multiplication. We review exponential rules and then obviously some multiplication up here, and I have two strategies again for two different kinds of minds. This one's a little bit more simple. This is lots of brain work, and I could challenge students to use the FOIL method if I think they can handle it. And then we go to polynomial division. I don't really like go in depth a whole lot, but I just highlight the important parts. I circle the important values to pay attention to. Again, I have another video here. And then I have a bunch of problems for them to work on. This would like be supplemental to their homework. And then if they needed extra help, I told them to watch that video. And then I just had a meme on the back, and then another website that has like more in-depth polynomial discussions. So this book is really good. This is definitely geared towards eighth graders or freshmen in high school that are just starting algebra. Really good introduction stuff, not really complex at all. Really base level things. So that was that one, and now we're gonna watch this. I did a Adobe Spark video for area and volume. Now we're gonna start talking about area and volume. Area and volume are very important aspects of the mathematical world that most people use every day in their normal lives. Area and volume is something that you'll remember for the rest of your life and will literally probably use every single day. Finding the area of a shape and finding the volume of a shape aren't very different, but there is one major difference when it comes to the two measurements. Finding the area is normally dealing with 2D objects, and you're going to multiply by the base times the length. When dealing with volume, you add in another dimension, length times width times height. Very important to remember the width. Here are some formulas for finding the area of common shapes like a rectangle and a square and a triangle. The different ones that you might not be used to are the parallelogram and the trapezoid. The circle is pretty familiar as well, but there's a funny symbol in there called pi. When you find the area of the circle, never multiply by pi. Always keep the pi out there because that's the exact answer. Let's find the area of this American football field. Now we know that the football field is 50 yards wide, and we know that the football field is 120 yards long because each of the end zones is 10 yards long. So what we'll do is multiply 50 by 120 to find 6,000 square yards. It is important to remember the squared because we are dealing with area. Let's try to find the area of one slice of pizza when the radius is equal to 6 inches. Since the radius is equal to 6 inches, we can square 6 to find 36 square inches. Now, since there are 6 slices of pizza, we have to divide 36 by 6 to find an answer of 6. But we have to remember the pi, so we will have 6 pi squared inches of pizza per slice. Let's find the area of this hexagon. We'll draw a line from the center of the hexagon down to the flat edge of 6 centimeters. We'll get a hypotenuse of 6 centimeters, a leg of 3 centimeters, and then we'll perform the Pythagorean theorem to find the height. Once we find the area of one triangle, since we have a height and a base, we'll multiply it by 6 to find the area of the regular hexagon in square centimeters. To find the area of the shaded region, we're going to subtract the area of the circle from the area of the square. We know the area of the square is 400 centimeters squared because a square is as long as it is wide. We know that the radius of the circle is 10 centimeters because the radius is half of the diameter, which is 20 centimeters. So the answer to our question is going to be 400 centimeters squared minus 100 pi centimeters squared for the area of the shaded region. Let's talk about volume. Volume is in the third dimension, so we must respect the variable of depth. Above photo, you can see that there is a height of A, a width of A, and a depth of A, giving our volume A cubed. In this photo, we're discussing the volume of a sphere. You can see the above equation, 4/3 pi r cubed is the equation to find the volume of a sphere. You can see that the radius was plugged into the equation, and it was cubed to find 8. Now you see through some clever multiplication, we get 32 over 3 pi. For my class, I would like you to keep it this way because this is the complete and accurate answer. Volume of a cone is kind of tricky because the base is a circle. So you see the area for a circle in the middle of this equation, pi r squared. For the rest of the equation, it's simply 1/3 times height. So, seeing the triangle in the image above, your radius is 6 inches and your height is 10 inches. By plugging in the numbers, you should find the correct answer. A waffle cone has a height of 4 inches from the tip of the cone to the center of the opening. The radius of this cone is 2 inches. A sizable scoop of chocolate chip ice cream that has a diameter of 3 inches is placed on top of the cone. Calculate the volume of the cone and the scoop of the ice cream together. Use the two equations below and make sure to show your work so that I know what you are working on. For some extra credit, find the surface area of the ice cream cone. Assume that half of the ice cream scoop is inside of the cone. You don't have to count this part for the surface area. I have not provided any equations or help for this, so if you solve it on your own and get the correct answer, you will receive bonus points on your. So, yep, that's my video. At the end, it was supposed to say test. I don't know why I didn't say that, but yeah, this is definitely geared towards freshmen and sophomores in high school in geometry classes. But depending on like who's taking the geometry class, it doesn't really matter because it's geometry and spatial reasoning and stuff, and it's a little more complex calculations. So that's what this one was geared for. I would definitely use this as a like homework assignment instead of maybe at the end of a homework assignment. I would assign this so that they're understanding what's going on. It's like a recap type of thing. So that's how I would use that. And yeah, I really enjoyed 206. I took it a lot more serious than my peers did, in my opinion, just because I saw the merit in it and how I could really use it in the future. It is kind of hard though, because most of these things were for elementary and lower middle school level stuff. I really had to like push the boundaries of what I was doing and get creative, but it was a really good experience. A lot of work sometimes for not a lot of points, if I'm being honest, but that's just how some classes work. But in the end, really good class, way more helpful than I thought it was going to be, honestly. So great class. Thanks for teaching, Duvall. And yeah, that's about it.